Okay. Hi, Jacob. Can you hear me? Here we go. I think we should be all good.
Yep, I can hear you perfectly.
Great. Hi, Jacob. So everybody, welcome to our first live Zoom event for the Center for Sustainability. This is part of our Earth Week programming. Feel free to check us out. We're also live on Facebook, Paul Smith College Sustainability. Check out our website, paulsmith.edu/sustainability. My name is Kate Glenn. I'm the Sustainability Coordinator over at Paul Smith College and a faculty member. And today we're here to talk about not only food waste and composting, but take a really wonderful tour of Moonstone Farm and Forest in Saranac Lake with Jacob Van Vorath. So hi, Jake. How's it going today?
It's going great. The sun shines out. The weather's beautiful. The snowstorm that came a few days ago, I'm glad it's gone, and we're ready to get planting here.
Oh, that's great. So for those of you who are just joining our webinar, if you have a question, we would love to hear from you. Feel free to enter your question in a chat box that we have here. You could also enter it in a Q&A box that's available and enabled for you. I'll be monitoring those questions and can and sort of feed them to Jacob throughout the webinar today. So one of the reasons we really want to highlight Moonstone Farm and Forest is because they have this wonderful partnership with Paul Smith College. Paul Smith College, all of our food waste from both our culinary department labs and the dining hall are all sent. They're collected in these five-gallon buckets, and we sort of send them to Saranac Lake on a weekly basis. And Jake collects those, where he feeds them to animals in some cases, very minor, but then also manages community composting. So Jake, if you want to introduce yourself, maybe show us a bit around the farm, and then we can go ahead and maybe talk a little bit more about the composting project in specifics. Great.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll try not to get chatty here. I'll show you around the farm a little bit. We'll introduce you to some of the characters, the animals around here, and then yeah, get right into talking about the wonderful compost program. So I'm Jake Van Vorath. We bought Moonstone Farm about 2.5 years ago. My wife and kids are right now, they're out picking up blueberries and some fruit trees from Westport Cooperative Extension. So they're not gonna be able to join us today, but the animals are here, and et cetera. So, this is one of the older farms in the region. It's been continuously operating for over 100 years. We bought the farm from Kim and Carolyn LeDuc, and prior to that, Percy Mullen and Ray McCasland were the farmers on the land. So we've been building off of what they've been doing. I'll show you around quickly some of the buildings. So these fences here were put up in 1920. We're trying to maintain them as best as possible. Out there, you'll see some chickens loving the digging in the dirt out there. If you can see in the background there, there's 5 baby chicks. So our chickens are 100% free range. They go wherever they want on the farm. Causes some problems, but definitely helps the soil, et cetera. And plus, they're fun to look at.
They look like some happy chickens living the good life out there.
Right. So one of the things that we've been doing is trying to upkeep these older buildings. So this is an old barn. A lot of these buildings on the property were built in the early 1800s up until the early 1900s, and they're still standing, which is an impressive feat in its own way.
But we'll walk over. And they're beautiful.
Yeah, and we're trying to preserve that feel of the barn and of the architecture here. But here's a few of our friends. They're the newest addition to Moonstone Farm. This is Mocha and Honey Bunny, come from our friends just across the way, Adrian Vlach. So they're a new addition. And we're trying to kind of diversify, as a lot of the small farms in our area do, the best we can. So hopefully next year we'll be milking them and producing some cheeses and sorts.
Oh, that sounds delicious. Goat cheese, absolutely. Sign me up.
So another thing, this is the newest building on the farm right here. It's our farm store. We put this in last year. There's not much in it right now. We do have fresh eggs, yogurt, but I do want to show you a product that ties directly to Paul Smith's real quickly. So a couple of years ago, we through Paul Smith and through these partnerships, we were talking with Kevin McCarthy over in the culinary department. I'm like, Kevin, we have an excess of eggs during the winter. What can we do? We came up with this idea for fresh noodles. So we have fresh noodles for sale here at the farm and at the farmer's market. And it's been a great project to work with the culinary department and the students at Paul Smith's to develop this product. And we've had a number of students bring us from the marketing perspective all the way up to serving it at the farmer's market.
Oh, that's right. So I know if people are interested in getting these noodles, and that was Chef Kevin McCarthy, right, from Paul Smith College, who you were partnering on that with some students. They can come to the farm to purchase, it looks like, at the farm store, and then also the farmer's market, right?
Yep. And we're hoping to expand our outreach, eventually into other farm stores in the area, maybe Norrie's in Saranac Lake, as we ramp up production. But like students and Professor McCarthy at Paul Smith have been to the development of that product, and it's a key to keeping us going in the winter months when tourism kind of drops, sales drop, et cetera. So it's been a great partnership.
Oh, that's wonderful. So you also run the Saranac Lake Farmers Market and the new sort of Park It program, don't you?
Yeah, heavily involved in it. We have a committee of 8 people that are key to it, and it's been a great way to safely get products into the hands of consumers during the COVID outbreak here. We've developed a number of protocols that were actually ahead of the game. We started early in March with the Park It program, and sales have been so great for some of these farmers that they're beginning to run out of product, which doesn't usually happen this time of year. Usually we're building up product to lead up into the summer markets and the summer demands with tourism. So it's been a good thing all around for the farmers in our area.
That's great to be able to sort of adapt so easily and still be able to have a market. And yeah, absolutely, it's a resilient sort of food chain, right? All right.
Right.
So what are we seeing now, Jake?
These are our llamas. This is Snotface is right there, aptly named, not by us, by the previous farmer, but Snotface. Delphine is in the back there as well. Yeah, so the llamas, they are a great source of manure, and actually it's a key part of the compost. So we have our food scraps that go into the compost, and then the llama manure, and then obviously the hay and straw from across the farm all go into the compost. So the llamas produce a really well-balanced manure for us, and we have a symbiotic relationship here with our ducks. They kind of keep the llamas safe, and the llamas are great guard animals too. I'll go into the llama safety with the ducks, but a number of farmers in the area have lost chickens to coyotes and other animals, and these llamas we've lost very few chickens. So we're kind of blessed that they're here. They protect our ducks and our chickens, and it's a good kind of partnership here with them as well. But these ducks, they actually eat. There's a snail that transfers a disease into not only llamas but goats and sheep, etc. And the ducks tend to, just keep the snails at bay. They're always digging through the dirt, digging through the water, etc. So we haven't had any sick animals or sick llamas here. We like to think it's because they got a good relationship going.
Well, that's a wonderful set of partnerships happening there. I've never really thought of llamas as guard animals, but I think it makes perfect sense. Absolutely.
Yeah. When we do hear coyotes off in the distance, and sometimes we see their eyes in the woods, but the llamas immediately start making these weird noises, and for some reason the coyotes don't come near. We've gotten them on trail cams and things like that, but we've been pretty lucky in terms of the safety for our free-range chickens.
That's great, especially for an animal you inherited along with the farm as well, right? That's good.
Absolutely.
Right. So maybe now would be a good time just to talk briefly about the Paul Smith College composting program. So at Paul Smith, we actually have a long history of diverting our food waste. Several years ago, we used to send all of our food waste to Atlas Hoofed It Farm and our Food Scraps for Pigs program. And then for a while we were composting on campus, and then we stopped that while we were waiting for and supporting a Lake Placid biodigester project, which unfortunately didn't come to fruition. So we were looking for a new source. And it's important to know that the culinary farm to table class, which was taught by a wonderful professor a couple years ago, just in the fall of 2018, she and our students started working with Jake on a variety of projects. And one of them was that they wanted to start donating their food waste from our culinary program laboratories to Jake's farm. And so they started with the 5-gallon buckets purchased with a sustainability grant, and they started the transportation. The culinary department was amazing in supporting, you know, this project. They had work studies who were taking the potential composted food waste sort of out to the farm. And then it worked so well that we started to get our dining hall on board. And Greta, our dining hall director at Paul Smith College from Sodexo, was fully in support of this. We purchased some more buckets with a sustainability grant. She had some work studies. And now this is our sort of second year in the program, and the dining hall and the culinary division. We've had some wonderful chefs take over in the culinary division. Marlise is one of them, to make sure that the program maintains, and they've been weighing food waste. And recently, though, we did switch to compostable bags. We just realized it was a bit cleaner for us if we sort of put a bag in the bottom of the bucket. It's a fully compostable bag, which Jake was really thrilled to start adding to his compost pile as well. So Jake, I'm looking at a beautiful pile of soil here, which is a rare commodity in the Adirondack.
Yeah, it's some really good soil, and yeah, it's thanks to this partnership. And we've already have a pile right here, and I'll show you where we're adding it to the greenhouse in a little bit. But yeah, like you said, Kate, a couple of years ago, the farm to table class came out here. They got their hands in the dirt, and you know, we were talking, and a lot of kids, a lot of here in the Adirondack.
Oh, Jake, I think we're losing you a little bit. Can you repeat that last sentence you said?
Sure. Yeah. So I was talking about the farm to table program. Did you hear that?
Yeah, just that a couple years ago they started coming on for a partnership.
Okay, yep, gotcha. Sorry about that. Yeah, so they came to the farm. We were getting our hands dirty in the soil with some planting and weeding, etc. And we got to talking about what the biggest challenges are for our small farm. And without a doubt, it's our soil quality and our ability to be able to improve the soil here. We have really sandy soils, at least where we are here in the Adirondacks, which makes nutrient retention really tough. But if you're able to get that organic matter up and the soil becomes much more healthier and it produces much better plants. And at that point in our first year on the farm, we had spent over $4,000 in organic compost, bringing it to the farm, trying to get our soil up. And I think the students were a little taken aback by that. And you know, they started thinking about ways that, hey, you know, maybe there's a resource that you know, on campus that they can get to the farm that can help us improve our soils. And from there, Kate, like you said, you and other professors kind of guided the students, developed the program, and the rest is history. And here we are with some great compost. We got the freshest pile up here. This one we're taking from right now, and then back. That's going to take a couple more turns, but that one's almost done as well. So we're excited to be able to put that onto our plants in the greenhouse.
Oh, great. So those will be going to the greenhouse then. So we do have a question here from an attendee. And I know that you also accept compost or food scraps from community members. If somebody was interested, are you accepting now, or might you be in the future for food scraps from households?
Absolutely, yeah. So community members are welcome to bring it out, and also our CSA members bring it out. We have some buckets alongside the farm store. You're welcome to drop your bucket in exchange for a fresh, clean new one, and then we'll take it from there. And yes, we would absolutely love the compost. It'll get used, and whether it's from converting into a soil or the chickens peck at it a little bit, it's definitely going to go to good use.
Oh, that's wonderful. So everybody, if you didn't hear that, feel free to drop off your compost. Looks like 5-gallon buckets are the way to go. I have a 5-gallon bucket on its way there tomorrow myself. You can always stop in the farm store. And then Jake, you said you had a CSA. Are there still memberships available? Is it for the summer then?
I unfortunately sold out, and it sold out pretty quickly. There's been an uptick in demand for local food because of the COVID outbreak, which is a good thing for us. But yeah, it's been crazy to see local food products flying off the shelf, and it's also good supporting our local farmers, keeping the dollars local. It really helps us make ends meet here.
Well, that's good news. Definitely good news because they can always stop by the farm store though, right? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay, what do we got here?
So this is part of that pile that we were just showing you, and I'll show you inside here. We have Henry, who's a local high school student here. He's been helping out on the farm, and we're adding the compost into our greenhouse here, which this Sunday we'll be planting fresh spinach in. So you can see it's going directly into our rows here, and we're watering it down and getting ready for planting on Sunday.
Oh, that looks great. That's going to be some tasty vegetables. Absolutely. All right, planting on Sunday. It's happening, huh?
It's happening, and I hope the weather cooperates.
Well, that's one of the benefits, I suppose, of the hoop house, right? Excellent. Oh, Jake, this has been so great. Does anybody from our attendees or our audience have any questions for Jake or I about composting or how this relationship is working? It doesn't look like it. Yeah, you definitely, I think you're going to have some new community members dropping off food scraps as a result of this. Absolutely.
That would be exciting.
That would be very exciting. So Jake, what are some of the things that you really like about farming here in the Adirondacks?
I think for a number of reasons, the number one reasons I think is for the lifestyle, for our kids, etc. But also, just it's always been kind of in our blood. My dad was raised on a farm. My mom was raised on a farm in central Wisconsin, etc. So we want that same feeling growing up for our kids, to be able to get their hands dirty, to be able to work on a farm, to get those skills, that most folks don't have anymore. So it's a lifestyle choice, but also the community in our area really, Saranac Lake, Paul Smiths, Bloomingdale, Lake Placid, they really support our local farmers, which is a inspiration. Kind of goes both ways. The community inspires the farmers to grow great food, and the farmers give it right back. So there's a great farm community in the area. And we've been partnering with them on a lot of different things. So it's not really a competition thing. We all tend to work together, do what's best for all of us.
Ah, that's wonderful. That's great. And I think you've got several partnerships also with other businesses in the area. I'm thinking specifically, other restaurants, but also Hex and Hop, the new brewery in Bloomingdale, both in terms of them serving you food. But I think also maybe you're taking some of their food waste as well.
Yeah, so the spent grains from the brewery, they come right here to the farm, and they go right into the chickens, and then what the chickens don't eat, that goes into the compost pile as well. So we're always looking for sources of waste that we can turn into, and Hex and Hop has been a great partnership. Last year they had beehives out here on the farm, over 120 hives, which was exciting. It helped pollinate our plants, keep our plants healthy out here. And then we got a little bit of honey out of the deal too. And we also have a very close partnership with Cape Mountain Farm up in Vermontville. We're working with them on a number of things. We do a food cart with them, and there's a few other things. There's a tasting room for Hex and Hop going in downtown Saranac Lake, and we're partnering with Cape Mountain Farm, Hex and Hop, and a couple other local farms in the area to make that happen. So there's a lot of good things happening. There's no lack of communication and coordination and collaboration, which, again, Kate, is one of the exciting things to be able to farm in this area.
Well, it definitely is great for Paul Smith College. The students really love making sure that, if we have any food waste, obviously we try our best to reduce it, but both the dining hall kitchen, sort of pre-consumer food waste, our post-consumer food waste, and our culinary labs, which sometimes they're just sort of cut scraps, right? They really need to find a place to go. So being able to sort of continue to support a local farm is a really wonderful use for that. And we hope to continue doing that in the future. I love seeing those 5-gallon buckets. It's definitely a good sign to see those around the college campus. Oh, and we actually just expanded. A sustainability grant proposal was put together by some of our SMITty committee members, and they're going to be doing composting from the residence hall. So if there's a kitchen in the residence hall, starting this fall, you'll see a 5-gallon bucket that'll be available and picked up. That was a great collaborative project between the sustainability committee and our residence life department, who was really supportive. So you're going to get even more buckets, Jake. It's going to keep coming.
That's great.
Well, this has been such a great experience. Thank you so very much. I don't think we've got any more questions here, but Jake, thanks again for giving us a tour of the farm. This worked out really well, and we look forward to seeing you at the farmers market or around.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Kate. Appreciate it.
Okay, bye, Jake. Have a good day. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Feel free to check out more information, pulsemiss.edu/sustainability. You can follow us on Facebook or Instagram. We'll also be posting recordings of all of this week's Earth Week's events. So definitely see you around. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.